Yeah. Good evening, trail friends, and welcome to Comfort Sips. Tonight, in the Halloween spirit, we're going to make a pumpkin spice latte. Let me lay out all the ingredients for you. Okay, so over here, we have our milk, we have our whipped cream, maple syrup, coffee, and vodka vanilla. We have our pumpkin spice and our vanilla extract. And you can't forget the cinnamon sticks. All right, and then some decorative toppings. So let's put this drink together. And over here, I'm going to use a blender and my espresso maker. Okay, so one of the first things we need to do is you want about 1 cup of milk. Any milk will do. I like whole milk. We'll just pour that in. We're going to do about 2 teaspoons. You can do a little more if you like more of the pumpkin flavor. I tried a little extra when I was pre-making this morning and last night, and I found out a couple things. I think 2 teaspoons is pretty adequate. You want about 2 teaspoons of maple syrup, a little more if you want it sweeter. You know, I generally don't do a whole lot of measurements, but for this one, I think is good. About a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I want a little extra. There we go. And they say about 1/4 of pumpkin spice. I just sprinkle it in till it kind of coats the top. Pretty simple. Really thought this was going to be much harder. And then just give it a quick rinse. Just blend it. I've seen you can just use a regular whisk as well and give it a taste and see if it's to your liking. If you think you might want a little extra spice or a little extra pumpkin, a little more maple. I think it needs a little extra spice. You can always make your own spice too. Cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. And I did bring a couple cinnamon sticks as well. And I'm going to see if in a little extra, and I'm going to give it a taste. That's what it was needing, just a little bit more spice. Perfect. All right. Now that we have our pumpkin spice latte syrup ready to go, it's safe to do your espresso. The reason why I suggest making this first prior to your coffee, if you're using an espresso machine and not everything's set up here, with this, the coffee comes out really quick and you only have a certain amount of time to prepare to froth the milk. So with that, we're going to set up our coffee now. Okay, I usually do about 2 scoops of coffee, and then I am using a cinnamon flavored coffee. You can use any coffee you like, of course. Pour the water in. And it'll just take a few minutes to brew. So usually, once the coffee hits the steam mark, you want to just set this and have your mixture ready and set it to fry. You don't want to overheat it because it will lose its flavor, and you don't want to scorch the milk, but just where it's a nice little foam. And then set it back and let it finish brewing. Done. Pour your coffee in the mug. Now, I kind of played around with this earlier. And usually about 2 shots of espresso is plenty, especially if you don't want to make or overpower the pumpkin spice flavor with the coffee, because it can make it kind of bland if you do a 1-to-1 ratio. I always thought I preferred a 1-to-1 ratio, but I was finding that I wasn't getting enough flavor. So I cut back on the coffee and followed the recipe and only did about 2 shots. And it turned out perfect. So a little tip. And you don't want to overheat it either, because it can make your flavor a little bland. And then you're going to take the mixture and we're just going to pour it in. Get out a cinnamon stick and give it a little stir. And let's give it a little taste first. That is perfect. That was really good. Now I have to tell you, I've been trying this seasonal flavor from all the regular coffee haunts. And it's like they switched or did something to the recipe. And it's a little bland. So I had been looking for the recipe and I thought, oh, not ever done anything so extreme. I went and got the Starbucks cold brew, and I was just gonna do an easy cheat, add my 2 shots of espresso, do the cold brew, or even the pumpkin spice latte cream. And both those ways, I just wasn't getting a flavor. I was looking for that pumpkin pie taste. And I remember the first time I had pumpkin spice latte, and it was at Reno, at a little cafe on their water lot. And it was actually during Halloween, and all the shops were all lit up and all decorated out with the purple and the orange lights and jack-o'-lanterns. And yeah, I was looking for, wow, I'm gonna lose my umbrella in this wind. So let's hurry up. Okay, so that little walk down memory lane, but I'm gonna add about a shot. You can do a little more to your liking or to your taste of some vodka, vanilla vodka. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That was probably about a shot and a half. It's a nice smooth pour. Usually a slow count, 1, 2, 3, 4 will get you a shot. Let's give that a little stir. Wow, that really enhanced the flavor. I'm going to add a little more mixture, the last of it. That is awesome. And then we'll top it with some maple whipped cream. Add some Halloween sprinkles. Now this is a drink that will spice up any Halloween party, and I hope you enjoy. Let's take this drink over to the campfire. Happy Halloween.